God is in me, through me, for me, and with me, and where there's God, there's no imperfection. Welcome, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I really have trouble saying no. It's a big issue. It's not as bad as it was as it used to be, but I still struggle sometimes saying no because of the mere fact that it's just in my nature to try to be everyone's friend, try to avoid conflict, try not to make things harder than it needs to be, try to avoid confrontation, whatever the case may be. It's really difficult for me to say no sometimes. And what I realized is I had to really change the way I looked at the word, because I would put myself into these situations that I didn't want to be in just because I didn't want to say no. And I said yes just to try to be nice. And what I learned was that yes and no, I was looking at it too dualistic. Yes doesn't mean positive and no doesn't mean negative. And that's how I was viewing it, and that's how a lot of people do view it. And I had to really see it from a broader perspective and see them as two different energies, two different frequencies that set aside two different paths. And when I was able to do that, I was able to just see it a more well-rounded side of it being two sides of the same coin, two halves of the same coin. And what I also realized was that when I did say yes, when I did do things I didn't necessarily want to do, that in essence, it was still burdening me. And I actually thought that initially when I say no, that I would feel guilty, that it would linger for a longer time. But when I did begin to really speak up for how I was feeling and how I really wanted to, approach things, I was able to just release the burden completely. So when I would say no, it would be done. It wouldn't even be a part of my reality anymore. It wouldn't even be a part of my existence. It wouldn't even exist anymore. I wouldn't be thinking about it. But when I was saying yes just out of being nice, and I had to go to a gathering or a party that I didn't necessarily want to be in, it would still be bothering me throughout the day, and it would actually affect my mood later on, when I could have just avoided the entire situation by being true to myself and being true to my heart. And it's interesting because when I thought that no would be the worst thing ever, people actually respect it. And I know a lot of people can attest to this, and saying no actually allows people to see they're willing to stick up for themselves. And they truly respect you for it, because a lot of times they understand too that it is a hard decision. Even though some people have a better ability, I would say, to say no, they understand that it's difficult and actually respect you more from it. And they know not to, take advantage of you in the future, or try to take advantage of you in the future, because they got that no from you and they know that you mean business. And, I truly don't believe that we came onto this earth in order to live through somebody else, and that we all have our own journeys. We all have our own destinations and where we want to go in life, what we want to create. And you're allowed to help people, absolutely, and you should help people, but not at the expense of yourself, not at the expense of your soul, not at the expense of your happiness, because being happy, being peaceful, being in abundance is our birthright. And we deserve that. There's nothing anybody can say or do to take us away from that. And so I just learned to not take it so difficult when I'm asked if I want to do something, if I'm being led in the direction and I don't really feel like doing it. I tell them no now. I try to. I haven't gotten there all the way yet, but I'm working towards it. It's something that it's along my journey, something that I know I need to work on, and my mom has been telling me for so long, that my fiance's been telling me, is to, look out for yourself. In some occasions, look out for yourself. Don't do anything you don't want to do just to be nice or just to avoid conflict or confrontation, but to stand up for yourself. And I really had to look at the word no, the word yes differently in order to do that. God is in me, through me, for me, and with me, and where there's God, there's no imperfection. I'll talk to you guys soon. Don't say yes if you don't want to. Peace.